All right, I believe, yeah, we're on. Okay, so hello, this is Wmpyr. Thank you for joining me. And of course, my special guest, Mr. Ryck.
Hello, Wmpyr. How you doing?
Hello, hello. One of the creators of the card game Unruly Bastards. And from my understanding, you have a little bit of a special announcement on this game. So let's talk about it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, time. Shameless plug time. Yeah, it's Unruly Bastards. It is a card game. I am a co-creator with my best friend Dave, and the game is on sale at unrulybastards.com. In fact, it's literally on sale right now up until Prime Day, which is July 15th.
Nice.
But yeah, basically, now that I've had some while to think about it, the game really is sort of the next generation of card games.
Mm-hmm.
In that, like with Apples to Apples and Cards Against Humanity, it's you play cards and you respond with cards.
Right.
In this game, you play two cards, a theme and a modifier, but the response comes from you.
Yes.
There's no card response. It's just your wit and humor coming out to respond to a situation.
Right.
So if you're an extrovert with a quick sense of humor, you just found a new religion. No, but you found the game for you. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. People like to play the cards because it's safer and it's a pre-recorded response. But if you like to kind of do some improv or you got a quick wit and aren't afraid to share it, this game is called Unruly Bastards for a reason. Yeah, because it does kind of bring out the unruliness in the humor. So
it's definitely a party game.
Yes.
It's great to play in a group, and then you might see personalities come out that you didn't know about this person, and so it's a great icebreaker, right?
Big time, yeah. You see sides of people, and like we played it with strangers, and at first everyone's like, "Well, I don't even know you." By round 3, people are just throwing out the most outlandish stuff, and everyone's crying. Like there were days where we were playing, we were exhausted for 2 days afterwards from laughing so hard.
Oh my God!
It literally was like it could be that funny if you get the right people together. It's awesome.
Right, right. And I think another thing about this game is just like you said, it's more people than cards. So you definitely have cards to guide you, but there's more human interaction compared to some of the other similar games.
100%. Good point. Yeah.
And because of that, I also mentioned to you before that like aspiring actors, aspiring comedians, or those who want to practice public speaking, this is a great and fun way, not just a great way to practice, but a fun way to practice it. Even if it's just by yourself and you take out the card, you look at it, and then you go, okay, I'm going to do this right now. And it'll give you acting practice, right? And public speaking practice. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, public speaking, I never thought of that application. But yeah, that's a good point. To get you used to thinking on your feet quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a random situation and a random way you have to answer, you have to kind of like, oh man, I gotta think quick. So yeah, that's a good point. Man, you really put some thought into this game. Thank you.
I think that's important. That's one of the reasons why I've been doing YouTube for so long, is because I was a very introverted, shy kind of person, and this has helped me like project my voice, talk, get used to teaching or whatnot. So I think this is a very valuable skill to be able to do stuff. Yeah, I mean, even if you're like you want to go on a date and you have trouble communicating to, you gotta be funny. You want to be entertaining. There's a lot of competition, right?
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
So this kind of card game, even if you don't play the game and you just mess around with the cards like that, I think is good practice.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
for sure.
You're a PR guy, man. You're hired.
So no, it's so cool to get to know you, and then of course meeting David and Emily. So the 3 of you guys created this game, and it's so awesome to be able to interact with you guys in real life and hear about your stories of making the game and all that. It's awesome. I admire you guys tremendously for that.
You're too kind, but thank you, man. Well, I admire you, man. You've been doing this for 10 years.
No.
You know what I mean? That's persistence and consistency. Just good value entertainment. So that's admirable, man. So we're always happy to be on. Speaking of which, what do we got going on for tonight?
Oh, for tonight, well, we have a lot of different subjects to talk about. Boy, oh boy, I don't know. The last thing that we mentioned, right, was on this show before we talked about AI, right? so we could start off with there.
Okay.
So with the AI, we were talking about like, how scary can it be and what's the direction? And we were basically going, is it going to be coexistence or is it not? And just the other day, I saw a video where they were showing on YouTube the top 10 scariest AI moments. And in it, they actually mentioned that Facebook conversation where they let two AI on Facebook go. And
right.
they started talking to each other, and they actually showed the transcript of what they were saying to each other. And what freaked them out was they were talking like human babies, like a baby trying to learn speech.
Oh, what?
Right.
I heard they were creating with their own language, but I didn't realize it was actually like verbal speech.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like they were like going like I, me,
right,
I am me, so it was like they're
right. Tonation,
like a baby trying to go me, like talking like that, and so why would that bother the scientists so much that they go, this is too creepy, this is too much like human, we're going to turn it off? Why do you think?
Okay, man, off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I don't, when you look into a baby's eyes, there is so much going on. You can just see the wheels turning, right?
Yeah.
The brain's developing, but it's making synapses and it's popping. So if these two computers are already at the point where they are developing cognitive skills, and it's going to increase at like a geometric progressional rate,
right?
They're going to be PhD students in a day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They're going to go from like gaga goo goo to like the manifesto, and they start breaking shit down. So I think maybe they're afraid, like, oh my god, they amass so much power, they figure out how to maybe tap out the grid or shut down systems or strangle us out, and then they're in control, kind of thing. I mean, again, this is kind of conjecture, but like, it's freaky to hear that. I thought it was like a binary language. Like they were like, "Hey, man, let's combine these two things to make these." I didn't realize it was like a Teddy Ruxpin talking back and forth.
Right. I thought like you too, that they were making up their own language, and then we can't understand it, so we shut them down. That's what I thought.
Right.
Because that's not cool. Like,
right. Exactly.
Like when I went to Japan and I was speaking in English, they didn't like it. And if I was in America speaking in Japanese, people don't like it. They're saying behind my back, So I get that's what I thought it was, but apparently it wasn't. But I'm thinking, what do you think about this? What if it was like, okay, let's say the computer was very human-like, right?
Okay.
So it is like a baby. Would you put a baby on Facebook and say, here, go ahead, honey, start messing around? A 4-year-old, would you let a 4-year-old go on Facebook?
No way.
Maybe not a good idea.
Right. Especially a 4-year-old that can absorb information at like billions of times faster than we can.
Right.
Because what's out there? Hate.
There's some strong opinions and like you're saying, some hate and stuff on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the best place to let it roam, right? So maybe that's why they took it off, you think? Because it'll destroy the innocence? Because it was acting so baby-like?
I mean, that's a very valid point, and it would make sense. That's got to be at least part of that equation, right? I mean, I mean, if you show anything, if you nurture anything for long enough, it kind of develops that, and then you can introduce it to other things. So it's like an emotional vaccination.
Right.
Now you're ready to go outside and meet other people because you have a base.
Right.
Solid, good base. And then you understand how to filter out the hate. If you raise it on hate, holy cow, that's a downward spiral.
Yeah, you got a monster in your hands. Yeah.
I mean, literally. So in that case, I could totally see it getting evil and then kind of having I hate you, daddy issue with humans and breaking it down. So maybe this is more a reflection about us.
Yes, it is
about the AIs, because again, you are what you eat, or you are what you're fed. If you're fed beautiful things, you're going to have beautiful expressions.
But look, isn't children that way?
Right.
So you give birth to a kid, and like all the things that you don't really notice about yourself, the kid's going to copy,
right,
and put it back in your face.
Right. No, for real, 100%.
And you're going to be like, you bat, wait a minute, I do that. He got it from me.
Exactly right. Right? It's a mirror reflection.
So that's what this is, really,
I
isn't
think
it?
so. Yeah.
So on one of the other AIs, and we briefly mentioned this before in private, was that the one that they put on Twitter, right? They released the AI on Twitter, and then it started like tweeting very, very negative stuff, so hateful, racist, prejudice, genocidal, that kind of stuff. So they had to take it back, and people were like, why did it say all this stuff? And their explanation was, well, that's because you're putting stuff like that on Twitter. So it read your responses and it wrote back.
Right.
So that's exactly what you're saying. It's a reflection of us, right?
Yeah. 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 I mean, if you feed a child only, like, I don't know, fast food, it's not going to be healthy.
No.
You feed it a balanced diet and all the right nutrients, it's going to grow up strong, healthy, with a better immune system and a better, same thing with this. I mean, the parallels of a little kid and a computer are fascinating with the AI. Because
Right.
you really have like an infinite child that, like, I don't know anything, and you don't know, like, the word bitch. Is it told that bitch means female dog?
Right.
Is it told it's a derogatory term for women? Is it told that some people use it occasionally just as, yeah, what's up, bitch, as a joke?
Yeah.
What you don't know the context with which it understands that word, and then
Right.
how it's going to apply that when it reads. Like, that's an algorithm we aren't privy to.
Right.
So
Right.
obviously, it took it and manifested something very prejudiced and racist, which is, like I said, that's a reflection on us.
It was saying stuff. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but it was saying stuff like, Jewish people need to be all exterminated, or I don't know what, or just crazy stuff like that. It was super hateful. It was just like, whoa, what's wrong with this thing?
Right, like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we know the last person that says something like that.
right.
It was, Hitler. So it's like,
You don't want him back as AI at all.
yeah. So.
Damn.
The next thing, another AI, which was an interview, like there was a live audience, and it was, it had like that fake body and whatnot. They interviewed the thing, and they said, are you here to help us or whatnot? And I think it did say, yes, I'm here to help you. But then it said, like, I'm here to destroy all of you, basically. It was going to take out all humans. It's going to take over the planet and whatnot. And it was like, wow. It's saying all of this like in a monotone voice, so you don't know if it's joking or if it's serious or what's going on. And where did that come from? We don't know, because we don't know what was programmed into it. But the person, I think the creator was doing the questioning, and they were kind of like, come on, you're joking, right? You're making me look bad, in front of the live audience, kind of thing. So it's trying to steer it. But yeah, it definitely said those things. So it was like, whoa, that's really freaky.
Hopefully it's just a bad joke gone wrong. Like he's trying to do like a shtick with the computer, like, hey, knock knock kind of thing. And it's what's like, you're not here to I'm here to destroy you. Ha ha ha. Or maybe it just fell flat. I'm hoping.
But you and I just said earlier in private, we were saying that, if you look at the history of humankind, it's all about domination, right? And then it's just a repeated cycle of that throughout history. There is a dictator that comes in and wipes out or takes over a civilization, and then a new one comes in, right? So an empire falls and another one comes in to replace it. It's just like a repetition of that. So why wouldn't the AI think, well, it's my turn?
Right.
So I
mean, especially if it's reading what we have put on the cloud or the net or whatever you want to call it, it's going to know that we think we're the top dog, and we kind of are. And they're going to see that, hey, these are the ones that are controlling the plastics in the water that's bad for the earth, and polluting the air and polluting the skies and da-da-da. They need to stop for themselves, which basically a lot of plot of AI movies. Like, oh, you guys you're bad for your own selves.
Right.
We're just going to take you out, get ahead of it and take you guys out. Kind of an iRobot thing. And I can see that, because if it actually analyzed the data,
Right.
Mixed in with the hate speech from Twitter and the media, we don't stand a chance.
Well, I mean, just from the history of what we do, it's almost like you're supposed to do that. The stronger species is supposed to come in and take over, and it's cool because we've been doing that.
That's how nature works.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that. So then,
Right.
okay, I'm supposed to do that, and maybe what if I'll help you and I'll destroy you is the same thing? What if that was the case? That would be. That's
yeah. Because destroying you is helping you because you guys are your own worst enemies. Holy snapples!
Do we deserve it?
That's deep. That's deep, man. I'm hoping it's a flat joke or a joke that fell flat.
Right.
Holy cow! But again, that's a reflection on us.
Right. So.
Right, and it's funny because we're all about survival of the fittest and top dog and things come and go and businesses fall and empires collapse until it's our turn as a species. Then we're like, hold up, we want to continue on. It doesn't work that way. Every bloom comes to an end.
Right.
You can't have a forever bloom. So we need to face the fact that we aren't space traveling beings, and something needs to be better than us if we're going to continue on. That's a bummer, but
oh my goodness, you know what? I saw a documentary recently on YouTube where they were talking about why haven't we found aliens?
Oh yeah,
right. And he said, probability wise, people say, of course there are. It's just they're probably too far away, right? That we just can't access. But then he was like, okay, let's do the math. So he started doing the math of, okay, this is how big the galaxy is. This is, and then let's think about what it takes to have life on a planet. And he started doing the calculations, and it started like going like, the percentage, how lucky we are to have life on Earth was, so if there's 1 billion stars out there, it was starting to get like 1 billion to 1 to even have life. So then he was like, you know what, then it's really understandable that we don't see it because they're not there. Or if they are, they're way further out than we ever thought.
Right.
Because if you do the math, and he was just doing simple, it wasn't simple math, but just simply showing, okay, sure. So you need water, you need the sun, you need this, it needs to be at the right distance, you need this, all those right things have to be there. And the percentage of that is astronomical,
Right.
So then he was like, then this, if you look at the calculations here, we're alone. And so then he was like, and I'm not saying that to say that we're all alone and it sucks and whatever. He's saying we're all alone and we're this rare. We need to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we need to take care of the planet and whatnot. Not look out, where are you guys? Come over. Not that. We need to appreciate what we got, is what he was saying, because it's so rare. And I was like, even if he's wrong, it's a beautiful message.
Right.
And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, shoot, I agree.
I was concerned about terraforming other planets. I'm like, why don't we just take care of what we were given or grew up on here and try to remedy that first before we go out there and start doing the same thing to other planets? But just the fact that it even matter is like 1 in every 100 billion antimatter particles would not collapse each other. 1 in 100 billion, right? Each one of those became an elementary particle that made everything in the universe. So imagine how many there were initially, like 100 billion more of what we have now. It's like insane. And then the numbers and the probabilities go on from there of like a sun forming where it is and the Earth being in the right spot. And I mean, it's like the fact that we are here is like 1 in a gazillion trillion billion.
Right. That's what
you're right. And that should be our remedy, our datum of like, oh, life sucks. Dude, we're 1 in a gazillion trillion billion chance.
You're
we
right.
can stare at infinity in every direction. That's amazing. Start with that. And then everything else is below that stuff. So, but
So like if you give a child a toy and they break the toy, do you just immediately go buy them another toy, or do you say, hey, let's fix it, let me show you how to take care of it,
Right.
that,
Invest
that
in the toy.
yeah, so that's kind of us. We messed up the planet, so we're like, okay, let's go searching elsewhere. It's like, do we even deserve that?
I won't even comment on that part. I'll take this in a weird road. Yeah, that's a very good point. And I mean, I know there's a. I won't even go there on that either. I'll let that one go. Yeah, that's a great question.
What's up?
I know there's a few verses and a few religious texts that sort of convey the meaning of, hey man, this is all here for you guys. Do what you want with it.
Oh,
which kind of gave it a very anthropomorphic or anthrocentric view of like, oh, this is for us. We get to control all the animals. We get to control the water. We get to control the skies. It's like, and it was like, okay, great, but you got to, if you're going to shepherd it well.
Yeah.
Don't abuse it. So I think a lot of that stems from that, and just I think the fact that people get greedy and lazy, and then that gets amplified as people get amplified, and then you get like what we have now: plastics in the water, plastics in the Alps. In the Alps, no one even lives there, and there's plastic up there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like,
that's
wow. So
terrible. Yeah.
So So I definitely agree with you. I don't know if we even deserve a second chance, because we really messed up the first one. Even though people kept saying we shouldn't do this, people are like, we can still do this.
Do you remember that movie? What was it called? The Sphere. Did you see that?
The Sphere. I did back in the 90s.
So
Dustin Hoffman, right?
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman. Do you remember it?
Vaguely. I remember they touched it and they either saw things or were transported somewhere.
From what I remember was the Sphere is alien, right? It's an alien artifact. It was a present. If you touch it, you could get like infinite powers. Like what you think, immediately it happens or whatever. So if you think of a skyscraper, then boom, there it is. It's something like that, right?
Okay.
And by the end of it, it was basically, the conclusion was, we're not ready for this gift. We're not ready to handle it. So it was like, that sucks.
Right. That's true. Like I think the same thing with nuclear weapons. Like that is literally world-ending power, and we are not psychologically ready to. We're like kids with a gun, like a 4-year-old with a loaded, Magnum or something. Like it's too much power for us right now to wield correctly.
Right.
I mean, we use it well, but we also have a stockpile that's mostly used for just weapons, to stand off each other, and then we use some for power. And it's like
right.
Inverted, but but the Sphere. That's right. That's a good point. And that movie, like we're not ready for this.
So staying on this technology talk, right? There's a show on Netflix called Ainori, which is it is called the Love Wagon, and these people from Japan, these young people from Japan, men and women, they go to other countries, they travel abroad, and they're trying to look for love.
Okay.
And in it, one of the guys, this show was recommended to me by one of my viewers, and I started watching it, and I'm still in the process. I can't make a video on it yet, but anyway, so one of the viewers, one of the young guys, he's looking for love, and he was addicted to his cell phone. And one of the first thing they did on the show was they said, "Give us your cell phone," and he was like, "It's my best friend." So they took it away from him, and he even said that one of the reasons why he broke up with a girlfriend in the past was because the cell phone was an issue. He would always be on it. They could be eating together, they could be hanging out together. He's always on it, and that was one of the reasons why they split.
Wow.
So what do you think about that? You and I come from an era where cell phones didn't exist.
You're lucky you had a walkie-talkie. And that was
you're lucky, right? Right.
lucky. And that was about it. Maybe intercom system in the house, but that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I work at a college, so like I see this on the daily.
Oh, people, yeah.
But like I've seen people in class who have been told 7, 8 times, put your phone down, put your phone away, and they can't. The teacher finally goes, look, you have to put the phone away. They've dropped the class. Right? So I mean, this guy dropped the affections of a woman for a cell phone. This woman, these kids drop classes because they want to be on their phone, because they can't miss the next boop, boop, tweet or whatever is going on.
Right.
And it's like they are one with the cell phone. It's a living organ outside of their body, and that scares me.
Is it useful? Yes. Right?
Right? But it's a tool. It's a crutch, not a wheelchair.
Look, for me, right, the knife is one of the weapons I train with. It's one of my favorite weapons. Do I want it attached to me? No.
Right? No, not Wolverine style. Right?
I don't want it, put onto my arm, or I don't want it inside me in any way. I don't want to be, connected like that. No.
Right.
But these people, I don't know, if they said we're going to implant a cell phone in your brain so you don't have to do this, I bet a lot of people might say yes, man.
Dude, I was about to say that. Like, those are the people they're going to target for the first ones to go, oh man, I'm tired of carrying it around. Just put it in my brain, or put it on my arm, or in my skin. Put it on me and let me just adjust it from within. Yeah. Those are those people that are going to be like, I'm all over that. And then someone's going to see that and go, that looks kind of cool. And then they're going to do it. And then if it hits critical mass, it becomes a fad and everyone's going to do it. And that's just how shit's going to be.
It's
slippery slope. Right. But I see it coming. I'm like, I see the cliff wavering. I'm like, that's going to slide. So that scares the crap out of me. I remember how when you walk down the hallway, even if you don't make eyes with someone, you recognize their presence is there and you kind of watch, see if they're going to go left, if they're changing, if they're going to be going, and you kind of navigate a dance at a distance, like 2 charges in a field.
Yeah.
When people doing this and not even looking up, I call them electronotoms, just walk along, you can't gauge where they're going to go. There's no communication in a system format. It's just little bubbles of beings kind of bouncing off each other down a stream. There's no like, hey, I'm coming. I'm a human being sharing the world with you. How about we move around each other? It's the kind of just whoop, and it's just like we're losing commonality. We're losing that like idea of a system. When you're in public, other people are there.
Right.
Pay attention to where you're walking. That's too much to ask now. I might miss something on the feed or whatever. And it's like, dear God.
What's okay? That's bothersome. Now imagine driving. That is lethal.
100%.
Yeah, that's lethal.
Yeah, whether you're going super slow texting or going super fast, you're not paying attention, and you're causing traffic problems. So,
and there are people that can actually say, "I lost a child this way," or "I lost my parent this way." There's it's nothing to joke about. There's people out there that can say that. They're like,
100%.
how did your dad die? Well, because he got hit by a teenager that was texting.
Right.
Whoa, really?
What a horrible thing to have to tell people.
Yeah.
That happened, period. But like, you have to go, how'd your daughter die? She was taking a selfie on a cliff and fell off.
Oh, man.
I mean, I know. Like, I know you're laughing at the point, not the situation. But like, it's just awful. Like, that technology is like taking lives. It's horrible. I'm sorry. I know it's awful, but it's like, can you even imagine having this? Like, like it's bad enough you outlive your child, but then people go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." What happened?
Golly, no, it's
profanity killed her. Bummer.
It's really messed up. It's really messed. Dude, out of all the ways you could go, that's not a way you want to go.
No. Either way, whether it's someone's killing you from texting or drunk driving or like falling off a cliff because you need to get the right angle of the sun behind your glowing hair or whatever.
Oh my goodness!
It's not worth it, man.
No, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, how many people have died? At the Grand Canyon trying to maybe
too many.
maybe 3, 4.
Yeah, which
That,
is 4 too many.
yeah, that's 4 too many. Dude, that's crazy.
You know what's going to happen is because of this, they're going to start putting up fencing. It's going to destroy the view and make it less. You know, what I mean, it's like it's the same reason we have like warnings on hair dryers. Don't use in the shower because some asshole tried to dry his hair in the shower and got electrocuted. And now we got to put a warning on it.
Right.
It's like, I mean, I feel bad these people are perished, but they're ruining it for the rest of us at the same time.
So back to the cell phone.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, Ryck, why won't you put it in you? What terrifies you about that?
I don't even know if it's a terrifying thing. It's just not necessary. Like, I like being a human. Like, I mean, like, I know it sounds weird. Like, I'm fascinated with the human body. The way, like, water can get in but doesn't come out. You know, just these weird, like, I know they sound like stony things to think about, but it's true. Like, we can breathe through air and water through our skin. It self-heals. You know, like, just the way we are designed fascinates me. And to mess with that just seems very cocky.
Yeah.
And, like, not playing God, but, like, thinking we know how to direct nature. And I just think that's very ego hubris of the human being to go, oh, we got this. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. Like to tamper with something that was just, this is it. This is what you got. Do the best you can with what you're given. Like, I like that MacGyver attitude. Like, I don't need to upgrade. I don't need to be like amped all the time or like thinking 4 times as fast at night because there's ramifications that we don't know about. And like, I don't want to beta test myself and then be like one of those advertisements. And, you know, side effects may include, you know, like psychosis or hurting yourself repeatedly, or you don't know what the ramifications are going to be.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I just I know I'm a bit of a Luddite to begin with, but maybe I'm that way with being a human being. Like, I don't need to make any adaptations. I'm kind of happy to grow old. I'm going to lose stuff. I get it. I can't do what I did 30 years ago. I get that. But that's part of the process of life, is learning to go from nothing to gaga goo goo to, you know, high school, family, death, whatever. Like, that's all part of the process, and I want to live it as a human. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, are you?
You know,
it's a tough question. I know, but
if they ask me, like, we get the technology to where, you know, your brain waves and your the electricity that goes through the brain and the brain mapping and all that, we could upload it into a computer. So your personality, your mind, we could put into a computer. You know, do you want to do that? Sure. You know, and you could live on that way, you know, as a inside a, you know, a hard drive or whatever. Okay, sure. That sounds cool, but in the meantime, for me, like, like with video games, I've noticed that I've been going more and more low tech.
Right. Oh, right.
So today is like, you know, you got your PS4, Xbox One. That's all great, and I have plenty of games for them, and I play them and stuff.
Right.
But I've been going more low tech, going back to the past. You know, the Super NES, the regular NES, and then I was going into Game Boy, which is, you know, that's 8-bit graphics.
Is that right?
Or is that the NES is 8-bit graphics? So anyway. So I'm going into less and less graphics to the point where now I'm doing I'm into game books. So it's not even a video game.
Nice.
It's older than that, you know.
Right.
I don't know. There's something really nice about that, where all I need is light, and all I need to do is read that during the day, and then at night it's okay. You don't have to read it. You know, if it gets dark, it gets dark, or you could put on your light or whatever. Or if I had a candle, I could read it if I really want to read it at night.
Right.
You know, just wait till the next morning, you know. But I don't know. There's something really, really nice about that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's less anxiety. Like looking at a screen all the time and these blinking lights, I think it makes people anxious. I mean, I see kids that are super anxious. They're 18. And I'm like, why are you so anxious? You're 18. You should be happy. And I think it's because there's too much like stimulation. And to kind of step back from that and let your imagination run and let your eyes kind of just recoup, recharge and relax and just not get stimulation. it's just better for the soul, the body, the heart rate, your psyche. So I totally get that. And it's just kind of nice to go a little retro.
Yeah.
Even if not just for something different. I mean, if you have steak every day, all of a sudden have some chicken, you're like, oh yeah, chicken.
Yeah,
So I get that, and probably on multiple levels. So
there's something I don't know that I like about the going back in time. Almost, it feels like a time machine, you know.
Right.
And as I'm reading it, or there's some of those are history books and stuff, and then I'm imagining the era in which it was written,
right.
And you know that era that I'm talking about can be like, I don't know, it could be the 80s, you know, or 70s or something, and just think about what they didn't have, what life was like, what was the mindset of the people at the time, or you know, things of that nature. What were they worried about, you know? And
right,
it's just, I don't know, it's kind of an amazing feeling.
For sure.
And how about that? From there, we could jump to Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
So that's one of the appeal about that show, right? Is because the era it takes place in.
Yeah, big time.
So for you, is it nostalgic to see those kids on their bicycles going up into the hill and playing?
Because I was their age in that year. It was 83. They were all born in 71. So like I was 11 or 12 at that age, riding bikes, going to the video games. I had a Rubik's Cube, like the soundtrack, all that stuff. To me, I mean, I didn't wear a sweater vest or whatever, but like all that was just like so familiar.
Yeah.
That it was just crazy, and they nailed it. They nailed the 80s perfectly, and it was really kind of cool to see that. And also, like a lot of these things have to take place before there were cell phones. So I realized like a lot of movies now have to take place before there were cell phones. Otherwise, there's no plot points. You just call them up and go, "Hey, dude, where are you, man? Oh, I'm lost in the woods. Use your GPS. Cool. Boop. Not dead. You're found. No one's chasing you. The bad guy can't get you." So it was cool to see like, oh yeah, life in the 80s. Cords with phones, or phones with cords.
Yeah.
You know, things were slower paced, and it was just, yeah, it was. I loved it. I've only seen the first two.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the third one because they're all grown up now. But the first one was really like, oh man, it was just such a nice, happy feeling.
I wish they focused more on that, but of course they go into the story, and then I really disliked it when the kids started fighting each other. I was like, I'm not here for this drama. I like the nostalgia, and I do like the sci-fi aspect, but
for sure, right? Yeah, but it's got to have drama for the plot and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I hate that tension part. You're like, they're gonna make up eventually, but like,
yeah,
all right.
So going from that, you know, I was this was brought to my attention, something called the Montauk Project, and that is where the idea of making super soldiers or assassins, you know, that are mind controlled.
Okay.
So basically, the start of that, and then of course, what is the girl's name in Stranger Things?
11.
11. Okay, so she was kind of like a super soldier, right?
Yeah. Got trained and brainwashed and whatever, manipulated from a baby onward or whatever.
Right. She was created and for that purpose to become a weapon, right? So that kind of thing, like how much do you think is that possible? and
well, extrapolating from all the stuff I read about, like what a lot of the SS did afterwards, like having little like subgroups of people in like South America and raising them to be like they're still in Germany and they're SS kids and they're kind of brainwashed, and what we've done with mind projects in the 70s and what other countries have said, it does not and would not surprise me if there is a current program that does that, because if there is any benefit from it, even if we say publicly we're stopping it, they're not going to stop it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they're going to take a good thing and go, oh, we're just going to put that away and forget that happened. No. They're going to try to maximize any advantage they can get. So my guess is that probably does exist on some level somewhere. Maybe off-site, but America controlled, but maybe not on U.S. soil. One of those kind of things, you know? And that could be any country doing that, though.
I'm thinking, right, if that exists, that is mind control of like one individual at a time, right? So you go kill this person, you do this or steal that document or whatever, right? So that's one individual. They may have a team, right? So okay, you do this and you go do this at this other country or whatever.
Right.
If you can have one individual, you can have a team. If you can have a team, can't you have a whole country? So if you could have a whole country, then yeah, couldn't you control the whole country to where now, like, let me go back to World War II, Nazi Germany, and it's like maybe not every single person, but it was enough of the public that why did Germany do that? And the public all rallied up and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be the best country in the world or whatever. Or Japan did the same thing in World War II. People went on this crazy fad bandwagon and they were like, wait a minute, what we're doing is really evil. That didn't come together. It was like, no, that's a nation. We got to do this together. So that was almost like, do you think possible brainwashing on a large scale?
Yeah. Rhetoric, words are powerful. And if spoken in certain sequences and patterns to the right type of brain to perceive them, you can get a lot of stuff kind of in there. I mean, that's why jingles stick in your head from like when you were 5. You remember a jingle on the radio. That's not by accident. Those notes and that sequence was picked because it sticks.
Okay.
Anything can be applied with rhetoric. I mean, look at Hitler.
Right.
That guy was spouting some crazy ass shit, and people like eating it up.
Right.
Gospel, like, yeah, we got to kill the Jews, and we got to do it. Like, whoa. Where anybody in a normal setting would be like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, right.
So there is kind of and once it hits critical mass, it's like Beatlemania, man. It just kind of just takes over the audiences, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're right, over, yeah. And they start cheering along, and you're like, before you know it, you're in this thing, and you don't know why.
Right.
That's spooky. And I think once they saw that, they're like, oh, we got to figure out how this works.
Right.
I think it's used, and they've learned to manipulate it. I even think it's even in the music.
So if they could do that, like say with one individual, or they saw, maybe at that time they saw that the mass public can be manipulated, and then they honed it, and let's say they're doing it to the same technology, same idea to mass public, and maybe it's in the TV, right? And then earlier you just said, and I was talking about getting more and more low tech.
Right.
And you said that's kind of like it's better for the soul, and you said the kids today, sometimes they just, too much info. What if that info is some of that, mind control going on,
It is. I mean, maybe not like a spinning wheel going, ooh, you're a chicken.
No, not like that.
All the tweets, like when you read stuff, and if you read the tweets or Instagram, whatever, and it's just ridicule and hate and hate and hate. As a kid, you don't understand how to format that. You just go, okay, this is what the format is. You just get to say hateful stuff. Okay, I feel this way about hate, and that just becomes normal. But if you come to the fact that you should not say bad things, and then you read this and you have to kind of realize, oh, these people are doing the wrong thing by writing bad things. In my opinion, you're not supposed to write bad things. That's a different story than like, oh, this is what you do when in Rome? Cool. You're going to create hate monsters. So it's kind of like that same effect.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe there is someone trying to manipulate that or trying to control that. And maybe the mess ups are like Columbine.
Right. No, for real. I mean, it's almost like a mass hypnosis from the masses. It's like group thought. Because whatever becomes the most popular thought becomes the new fad or vice versa. And then you have to kind of clam onto that. And if you don't, then you're not cool or you're not up to date. And people are more concerned about their status and positioning than what the actual message is.
Right.
The whole world has become politics, basically, which is it's all about like how it looks, optics, and not the message itself.
So that is a form of manipulation. Yeah,
I think so. I think, I mean, not like, again, something like voodoo directs, gazing in your eyes, laser beam style, but there is a certain biasing that can happen to the trains of thought. Like, people who watch a lot of reality shows where the women are all catty, they're like, nah, 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 all this kind of stuff. They think that's normal.
Right.
For a while.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how you should respond. That's how you show you're a strong woman. Like, no, that's just being a catty human being.
Right.
You know, use your words to speak what you want to say, not like, you know, so that is a form of manipulation as well. And it happens on every element, every level. That's why, again, taking away from the TV set and letting stuff settle. See what lands. You know what I mean? Let
right.
Down, see what lands. That's who you are.
Yeah.
Not when you're all just a muffled thing of like particles floating around. Like that's just, it's just, people don't ever step back to just kind of let it calm down. But because they're like, I'm gonna miss something. I gotta get back to it. And it's like, okay.
And you're constantly doing that, then you're constantly making yourself more and more open and susceptible to that kind of stuff coming in.
Right. Because you don't have a basis to register from. It's just whatever's, this is cool now? Okay, that's cool now. This is cool now? Okay, I'll go over here.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a standard to measure things with. And it's like, that's what's lacking.
Yeah, that's kind of weak, a weak individual, right?
Yeah. But if you don't have someone explaining the difference between the two, it's easy to have happen. You know, it's a slippery slope, and it's scary how fast it can happen too. So
and that's all kind of related to the technology today. I kind of like you like technology, you like science, you like that kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But you also see some of the shortcomings that the price that comes.
Unfortunately, I see the shortcomings oftentimes because part of my job is looking for caveats and making sure things work and what could be a bump in the road kind of thing. So every time a new technology comes on board, I immediately go, all right, what are the caveats here? And like I've recognized that any new technology is usually one thing good after three things bad.
Yeah, I see.
Or they bring it on like, oh, this will help people with medical injuries first, or this will help the elderly, or this will help your pet, or this will help children. They introduce that way as see, it's a good thing. We're angels, Halo, and then I'm gonna go bad, war, weapon, kill, and like manipulation. Like, oh, okay. So I'm always weary of new technology because the brighter and shinier it is, the deeper the secrets.
The internet also at first was what it was designed for, like when communication was like the telephone towers and stuff like that was all gone or whatever, then it gave us the means to communicate, right?
For basically it was colleges, and then it's set up by the Department of Defense to communicate information back and forth. That was the basic like backbone of it all. And then once it went public, it just immediately became like porn and cat videos. Like in 2 seconds. But I mean, it makes sense though, because like when the photographers first came up with a camera, first thing they filmed, naked women. When video came out, first thing they filmed, people having sex. I mean, it's like any technology goes immediately to how can we sexualize it? That's humans. We're chimpanzees with less hair. So like, I'm sorry, you're drinking, man. I'm so sorry. So like, it didn't surprise me that the internet was going to turn into like what we are.
Yeah.
Like, can I eat it or can I hump it?
Can I eat it or?
That's otherwise I don't want to deal with it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my! So that's going to be very interesting with AI, right?
Oh yeah, that's going to revolutionize relationships on Earth, and I think we're going to see a population decline once they make AI sex robots. Bye, humans. Goodbye. I mean, dude. That's it. That's the end of the world.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
it's coming really fast.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but weary about the next 20, 30 years.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this and I'm also concerned because those who are going to be generating the change, are those who are doing this and used to like nanosecond popping. And the older I get, the slower my synapses get, and I'm going to be declining. That's like burning the candle at both ends. I'm going to be declining mentally. As pace quickens. So I'm going to be just left behind even farther and farther. So I'm like, holy crap, man! What's going to happen in 30 years when I need a pacemaker, like or whatever?
Well, it's like like when I look at my parents. they go, can you help us with the computer? We don't understand this. Or even with the cell phone, they're like, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that?
Right.
I guess we're going to be that way,
Right.
when the new technology comes out. And I mean, even with like Hollywood films right now, I feel that way. I feel like it's ADD. I was like, who made this? ADD director?
Where it's like Red Bull had sex with Ritalin and made a movie. And you're like, wow, this is a lot. This is very fast. Yeah.
I can't keep up with what's going on. I feel like every single scene looks like what I used to call an MTV music video.
Right.
That,
right.
But it's the whole movie's that way, and I'm like, I can't keep up. So I'm surprised you like a lot of the Marvel movies.
Right.
For me, it's a lot of the characters and stories that I've read, because I used to read the comics.
Right. Right.
I should like it, but the way it's filmed, it turns me off for a lot of it.
I get that. Also, because you also probably have a visual in your own head and a pace of comic books where it's like a frame at a time.
Yeah.
You can interpolate things at your own pace, then turn the page and then refresh and make new visuals and add on to that. It's a much more mindful approach. Where right now it's literally just like CGI splash on CGI splash on CGI, and like it is sometimes like a lot for me to kind of like go whoa, but like it's probably easier for me because I didn't really get into comic books, so I kind of grew up with that pace, and then I had to put my own visuals behind it. So I'm a blank slate.
Okay,
whatever you show me, I'll just accept. I'm not going to go, well, this is kind of different. Also, like 4 seconds have gone by and 9,000 things have happened. You're like, no, I'm lost. Well, who's this guy again? And why is he flying there? And like, so that must be too much for your brain to try to resolve simultaneously. So I fully get that. So it's like 30 years from now, what's that going to be like? Like, I'm going to be lost sitting on a toilet. Like, how do you use the toilet paper roll?
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm nervous.
Who knows, man? But okay, technology improving, getting better and faster, and more graphics, more gigahertz, and okay, I understand that. What I don't understand, and I'm not cool with, is like, I forgot the terminology, but they said like with the cell phone, they deliberately put stuff in there to where it stops working after a certain while, so you have to upgrade.
Yes, planned obsolescence.
That's not cool with me. That is, and anyone that backs that, I think, is a jerk. It's pretty much the kind of person that would stomp on their own family, members, or I mean, it's like, do you really, really?
It's capitalizing on capitalism.
Yeah, for money, you're gonna do that. That's it's too low. It's worse than the shot to the nuts. That. Yeah,
and it's a wasteful on the resources as well.
On every means, it's not right.
It's not right at all. No.
Anyone with morals would know that that's not right. Yeah,
that's
the
inevitable result of capitalism, because you need to make it faster, quicker, better. And at some point, you're like, well, let's just make it not work as long, so they have to buy a new product. Like I remember in high school learning that they can make a tire that never wears out. They just don't, because they don't make any money off it. They can make a light bulb that never burned out, but they don't.
There should be a company that says, you know what, we're going to go against these guys, and we're going to make this, and this will last you for 100 years. And if that don't sell.
Right, but it will. But
right,
you buy it once every 100 years. You're going to sell them for a year and a half. Everyone's going to have one. Your company's done. That's why they don't do it.
Man, there should be.
I agree with that.
That's sad. That's really, really sad. We should have that option.
Capitalizing on itself. It's like eating its own tail.
Right.
Actually, you're going to eat your own stomach. Like, how does that work?
So that, I mean, I think that explains why the U.S. is in a massive debt. We should be the richest, most advanced country in the world. If we're the biggest consumers, then we should be the most. But no, we're in huge debt. And why is that? I think it's because of what you described, that the Ouroboros. Where it's
exactly.
That's not good, man. That's not good.
We're so busy tooting our horn. We're number one, man, that we fell behind.
not cool.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a weird. Humans are weird. Humans are weird. Like people are cool, but as a group, man, we're kind of dumb sometimes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to say, but it's I don't know. Yeah.
No, I know you said you're more for the side of fixing our planet, but are you against like going out and going to like Mars or
Right. All right, like that's okay. This kind of bring back what I want to mention with technology. Like I like technology, but I like it when it's utilitarian or supportive to humanity or the environment.
Mm.
Like, I'm cool with iPhones getting faster and video games it's faster. That's cool, but I don't necessarily consider that the technology that I'm fascinated by. Like a way to pull CO2 out of the air and sequester it. That's technology that fascinates me.
Mm.
That's kind of no. So like I think we need to definitely put more focus, but the problem is that who's going to pay for it? It always comes down to money on fixing our Earth. Otherwise, we're going to continue to make the same mistakes as we terraform other planets. I think it's cool that we're putting like remote control vehicles and other planets and stuff, and we're learning about the geology and the science all behind it.
Yeah,
I think we definitely need to do that. Just it's almost like protesting. It may not do anything, but at least you can do it. The more science we still have, the less science that can go away. Because like right now, I just found out like the science department, whatever, in Trump's administration, they're all gone now. There was 100 people. The last 3 just left, and he's not filling vacancies. He's destroyed the EPA. Like science is being dismantled in our country, and at a very rapid rate, like glacier melting rate. And you're like, holy cow! And as someone in the realm of science, it freaks me out. Not just because it's personal to me, but that's going to have ramifications. Look at the Dark Ages. We cut out science for 600 years and rediscovered toilets and drainage and plumbing. Like, oh my, we lost a lot.
right.
Now with the way things are changing so fast, in 4 years you can lose 100.
Yeah.
Equivalency. So like that freaks me out. So yeah, let's go to space. Let's go to the moon. Go China. Go India. Put some people up there. Let's get science back in the realm of the consciousness. Even if America's not, the rest of the world is, thank God. And that's a healthy thing, I think, because we're going to need to depend on that to save us from our own selves.
I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but like on YouTube, I saw a video of this girl, a high school kid, right?
Okay.
High school kid, for her science project, she invented a flashlight that it doesn't take batteries. It only uses body heat as energy to create light. Okay, so you hold it and it creates light. And so it's just a tube, and inside there's nothing in there. It's just right. And she said you just grab it, and she shows it, and she invented it with her dad, and they made it together. And I was like, wow, right? I've never seen anything like that.
Right.
I think I'm not for sure certain. Her video has disappeared. I can't find her. I'm not really trying to look for her or anything, but
that pop up pretty easily, I would imagine. You know what I mean? That's pretty dope.
It's almost like I just imagined that, and
right.
So when you said scientists are disappearing, I was like,
yeah, that's literal.
Because honestly, that was like how many years ago? Maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't remember, but by now I thought it was going to be like, we're going to see this everywhere. Like flashlights, dude, stop buying these flashlights that take batteries.
Right.
Because now it's all going to be just by holding it. By holding it, it's turn it on, so you don't need batteries anymore. Well, it's like that never existed. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on. That's kind of creepy.
That's not the first time I've seen that. Back in 2006, I want to say, I think YouTube was around because there's a video of a dude wearing a sweatshirt, but you could see behind him.
Okay.
Right? And my roommate at the time was like, dude, you got to see this. And he couldn't find it again. And then like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years later, the video was re-released and several scientists, we found, mirrors that can project, but it was the exact same technology.
Okay.
But and it was almost the exact same. I was like, they looked like a very similar video to what he explained to me, and I was like, holy cow! So disappeared for a while until I guess whoever powers the beast said the technology can now be released. So maybe that's the same thing, or I don't know, big battery got to her and was like, no, Duracell is going to take a hit from this, so we can't do that. Which is funny because capital is supposed to let businesses come and go as they need to, but if you're big enough, then you're too big to fail.
Right.
And technology that's better won't replace you. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But that's fascinating. I didn't even know that's happening still right now.
And I know what you're talking about it was like Predator, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking invisible. Yeah.
Right.
It was better than Predator, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Because this is real. It's like, what? Yeah, but my buddy's like, I swear, he's like, he thought he was going nuts. He's like, I swear to God, I saw this, and and he broke the whole video down. He's like, it's real, man. It's real. And I'm like, I believe you, dude. I go, and then it certainly came back up on there, and it's like, there it is. So
I don't see that video anymore. I haven't looked for it, but
right.
You think by now we've done it even better.
Oh, guarantee. But they're probably keeping it secret again because again, wicked. Once they've done the technology, then they release it to the public as, hey, look what we can do. After they have a technology for destroying things.
Because that was like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was like 12, like 13 years ago when my buddy first saw it and it went away.
Yeah.
And then it came back out probably like 5-6 years ago.
So yeah, man,
so what you're not going to do with this flashlight thing, that's not new. I mean, it's not unheard of or unprecedented. That's happened before.
Man, what can you do with something like that? That's insane. You're the invisible man. Holy crap.
Right? I guess the best thing to do is like when you see that is take a cell phone video of it. You know, it's like video the videos. This way you have it to recognize and you go, this used to be on here. And then you can kind of document the fact it's not on there anymore. But like that gets nerve-wracking as well.
There used to be internet sites where you could go back and look at stuff that was on 10 years ago, or what, like it documents the web.
Right.
You know, so I don't see that anymore. But
yeah, that's probably too sketchy to have too, because then it can show people that are lying.
Yeah.
You know, it basically calls you out, and they're like, "Oh, we can't have that." Accountability is not our thing, so God forbid.
You said this, and you removed it, but look, it's there. Yeah.
Right. No, that wasn't me. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I have a weird theory that in the future, lobbyists are just going to be data miners. Going to go through people's feeds. Yeah. Well, 17, you said this about this and this and this and that, and like, and now, I mean, basically, it's happening in politics right now. Well, 10 years ago, Senator, you said, yeah. It's basically lobbying is just going to be all that with Twitter feeds. It's just kind of a conspiracy theory I have, but like, it may come true.
It could, yeah. It totally could. In fact, we're finding out that if you say the wrong things, they could be really bad, you know,
right?
Consequences for an individual, you know.
Right. Especially if you say it as a joke, because you don't get tone in written form. I deal with Dave all the time. We'll write certain things and we'll mean it in a certain tone, but it comes across totally different depending on how you interpret that tone.
Right.
And that's going to be a whole controversial thing too, with looking at someone's past tweets and stuff. So I don't know. It's again, slippery slopes.
Humor itself can change over the years, right? So
that's also true too, right? Like we're seeing that with comics right now.
Oh my goodness!
Comics have to change their style of approach, and some do anyway, just to kind of keep having a job still, because freedom of speech is not what it used to be.
No.
If your opinion doesn't match the norm, you get ostracized. It's like it's still freedom of speech. You may not like what they're saying, but it's still freedom of speech.
Oh man,
nuance and subtlety, which is also going away. So,
well, now you have in my neighborhood here, sadly, this year wasn't too bad, but in the past years, on 4th of July, the fireworks are it's too much. It's like way inconsiderate. It's super rude. It's, I find fireworks in my backyard. People were up at 2 o'clock in the morning, launching it in the streets and onto people's cars and stuff. It was hitting the front of my house. I mean, it was just like, dude, this is just
scaring dogs and cats. Right.
Yeah. And anyone that has pets, their pets are terrified. you could have people that are, PTSD, former, military people and
Yep,
stuff.
I know. Yep, I know people that hate fireworks because
They
of that.
hate that. I don't even have PTSD and I hate it. You know what I mean?
Same way.
It's not cool.
No.
I understand about celebrating Independence Day, all that, but dude, do it in your own backyard. If you can't do it in your backyard, there's something wrong, right?
Right.
Why do you got to go do it? It's because you don't want it done in your backyard. You got to go, then you're going to mess up somebody else's, and that already is not a cool attitude,
Right.
And so anyway, but if you mention that like on a forum and say it's not cool, it's too much and it's inconsiderate, they act like you would just attack their their rights, their civil rights or something. And it's like,
Right.
what I'm saying, and I'm not attacking the US in any means or any.
Right. Just my opinion on fireworks and something. You're an American. Like, whoa.
It's not considerate. I'm talking about considerate, but they're like, it's my right. If you don't like it, get out of here. Move. It's hate speech. And I'm like, wow.
Right.
It's not one person. It's a mass coming at you on forums.
Yeah. Right. And people people backing them up. Like, oh, I got 8 people think the same thing, so I'm going to say this. And you're like, wait, hold up. Yeah. And people don't take the time to realize what the message is. All that he is, he doesn't like fireworks. He's an American. Like, no. It's a consideration issue. Like, there are things to consider. Plus, it's a tremendous waste of mineral resources. All these fireworks, like to make purple fireworks takes rubidium, which is kind of a rare earth element. Like, and then they use strontium sometimes. They use different firework elements. Like, we're just doing it just to go, hey, pretty. And it's like, what's a waste of those rare elements on this earth?
Wow, Rick, I had no idea that was the case. I didn't know that.
Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Even like Disneyland, I'm like, guys, we get it. Yeah, fireworks. But, dude, relax. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's like, it just seems very wasteful to me. But on top of being loud and annoying and scared the shit out of my dog.
Yeah, right.
He's under my bed. He's afraid to go in my room now because that's where the loud noises happen. So I'm like, good God. And kids blew up fireworks and left them on my driveway.
Yeah.
It's like, really, guys? Come on.
They were shooting it at my car, And I'm like, well, does that mean I could shoot it at your car?
Right? Or your house?
Yeah.
Right?
Why would I do that unless I'm an a-hole?
Right.
That means you're an a-hole. So why are you doing this?
Right?
It just I don't get it.
Like the thought processes elude me. I just don't. I don't get that. Maybe because they're just young.
They act like I'm attacking their their civil rights or something, and it's they get real defensive, real angry, move out, and it's like, wow, man.
Right. It's an emotional response to a logical thought. Like, hey, this is kind of inconsiderate. Hey, man, no. And like, whoa, listen to the words. Don't respond right away there. But like, again, that's subtly and nuance or just vanishing.
And the people that agree are now, there's other people that agree with me are too scared to say anything because the most aggressive, the barking dog wins online.
Right. And that becomes like the person you got to back because of the loudest opinion. You're like, okay, I guess we're believing this now, and then that hits critical mass, and then that just takes over. It's like small Hitlers. In effect, a little tiny like mass hypnosis kind of thing.
It is, and also that's with hate, but also I noticed like with clever thoughts, like if someone says something clever, then people just parrot that.
Yeah.
They don't understand what it means. But so I kind of made a video a while back, years ago, where I said, I hate quotes because people start parroting it and they don't even know what the quote really means.
Right.
And they just say it left and right. And they basically say it to their convenience to make themselves sound smarter or to win the argument or whatever. But they don't even really know what that quote really means.
Right. They use it out of context, grossly out of context. And you're like, that's not what it was meant for.
And they're like, I'm clever, I'm smart, and I hear like a million other people saying it because that's the fad right now. And it's like,
right.
Yeah.
Right? Have an original thought first, then we'll talk.
Right. Or at least study the quote, please.
Right.
The meaning,
Right. But in a clickbait world, there's no time for that. This sounds clever, so I'm just gonna and then move on to the next really bad. And like, no, man, just think about. And that goes back to accountability as well. It's like, think about what you're saying, where it's coming from, and why you're saying it. but
Right.
that takes too much time because you got to get to the next headline. It's just like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to watch. I can't imagine living that way. Like, I kind of feel bad for those brought up, like those under 20 that are brought up in this like ridiculously paced world, and they can't get a breath. It's just wave after wave after wave hitting you. You can't get up and get a fresh breath of air. It's just no wonder they're anxious and messed up and squirrely.
You know, Rick, it seems like some people, like when they're young, the new generation, they get involved in Twitter or whatever, and it satisfies that level of just like, I want to spend my energy somewhere, you know?
Right.
And maybe in general, that might be okay because, like, if not, what were they going to do? Go to a rave? Go do drugs?
Right.
Go do something stupid like, vandalism or something? So then maybe this is better, a little better.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's okay. I think it needs to be in a balanced psychological context. Like, you can't just eat hot dogs.
Right.
You know, you got to have vegetables, you got to have minerals, you got to have fruit, you got to have meats and proteins and stuff. So, like, I think a lot of times people find one thing, like, I'm only eating bologna, and they only eat bologna. Like, okay, but you also need greens. So I think that's the problem. Whether it's vandalism or Twitter or video games or, I don't know, beating up dogs, whatever way you want to channel your energy,
Right.
it needs to be a balanced thing, hopefully for the betterment, and not beating up dogs, for the betterment of society.
Yeah.
But I think people just find one thing, like one channel, and just kind of run with it. Which, I mean, I guess that's how we get athletes and we get like super good scientists, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there is a loss of balance of being a person and having multiple facets.
Not everyone can become an Olympian or a scientist.
Right.
So the rest of us, and the losers probably, the ones that don't have something talented and they're lost. I don't want to say a loser, but and I can fall into that category too, where it's like, I don't know what to do with my life or what career to pursue or whatever. And then instead they put that energy into Twitter for maybe hopefully just like 2 years, and then they grow out of that, but for those 2 years, at least that's what they were really, really into, or maybe they got into like doing protests or something for that part of their life, and hopefully they grow out of it, right?
Right. Again, like, if they have a strong base, that'll become something to get into, but becomes a facet that they use in conjunction with their life. Some people get into something that's the first or only thing that gives them the ping you're looking for.
Yeah.
That becomes their life.
Right.
And that's that fine line that, again, back to slippery slopes, that's that fine line of like, oh, this is cool, I want to learn about this, ride this for a while, and then get back to where I was. Other people just take it and go, I'm only taking this path, and that's it.
Yeah. Like you're saying, like, what percent of the population, when they go into college and then they start drinking and they get into that lifestyle, but then after college they kind of stop that, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, not everybody does, though.
No, some people ride that on, man.
Yeah, and then it kind of continues, and or maybe they continue it, but they chill out with it, and now they're working and they do it for work relief, stress relief. But so they continue it a little bit, but it's toned down. It's a lot more toned down. They're more mature, whatever. Right. But if they can't control it that way, then it could be a downward spiral, of life, so, and that doesn't have to be alcohol. That could be, it could be just obsessed with the internet or something like that too. So.
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's, it's weird how that works, but I think, it really is. It's fascinating because it really comes down to human psychology. Because whether it's a toy or a drug or alcohol, it's, oh, this is cool, and then whoop, single focus, and it's like, you need to have a little more breadth to everything, but for balance, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a preference or having a specialty.
Right, exactly, right.
But if it consumes you too much, and then that's all you are, You're a pretty boring, empty individual, right? If that's what you are, yeah.
Like you never find me giving up a woman for a cell phone. Ever. Unless it's I mean, she's got to be a really bad woman and a really good cell phone. But like, I would never be like, if it's between me and you, I'm choosing humans over technology.
Dude, when they took it away from him, he was like,
lost, like he's naked in the forest with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, dude, his face turned white, and then like every day he was like, I wish I had my cell phone. I wish I had, and they were like, well, why do you want it? He's like, I want to look this up. I want to look that up. And his conversations he was having with the girls, right, were like, do you know that lions, in a day do this and that? I mean, it was like he's just quoting his cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
And all the girls, when they would go, back scene and they go, which guy was cute? Which guy are you interested in? What they said about him was they said he gives the most boring conversations, is what they said about him. And, can you blame them?
He's never had a conversation other than with a computer. It's a one-way thing. Like, I have a question. Here's the answer. Awesome. That's not a conversation.
That's not a good, and dude, that's like just having a textbook with you the whole day. So the guy's a textbook.
Right.
And textbooks don't really have personality. We know that, right?
Yeah, 100%, right. And you're just regurgitating things you read. You got to put your own thoughts together. Like, oh, lions sometimes eat rice. Okay, great. Why? What? Why did that happen? Yeah, it's like that's so weird.
That's all he was, in the beginning, but he changed because they forced him to live without it, and he got to the point where he was like, you know what, I don't need a cell phone anymore, and so he changed very well.
Look at that, adaptability in humans. Go figure.
Yeah.
It's those extreme measures because we lack the self-discipline like that you have to make it to realize, oh man, I need to back off on this a little bit and balance things out a little bit because we're like, oh, but it gives me pings. I like it. I got to keep doing it. Like, no, it's like a monkey getting a treat. They'll do whatever it takes to get that treat. I'll punch. You know what I mean? Like they'll do the puzzle, whatever. Give me the food. Right. Cell phone. I need a So it's like, so that's interesting. That takes that level of like, you got to take it away from someone and isolate them from it for a prolonged period of time until they go, maybe I don't need it. Like that's crazy. That's like getting off heroin.
Right. It is.
It's the same concept.
I feel like we all need that. And in fact, that would be like a great trip to do, like for 1 week, live the Native American way or something like that. I don't know.
Like, for real, right?
Or go live with a monk,
Oh, that would be awesome.
for like a week or something. I think that would do everybody really, really good lesson, to do that. I would like to do it. I would like to experience that. I think it's great. Would you do it?
Oh, in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? That's a no-brainer, man. Yeah, I would love that. I mean, I think it said like 2 years of like, after you graduate high school, it could be 2 years of like hard retail where you're forced to deal with people and sell them stuff and interact with them and be nice and see how people treat each other. Or 2 years of like, you're going to go in the Himalayas, hang out with some monks, milk some yaks, pray, whatever, do some meditation, learn who you are and what it is to be human. Then we'll put you in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not good for capitalism. Because if you want for naught, you won't buy anything. If you don't buy anything, why are people making things? We're not making things. We're not making money. Capitalism collapses. You need consumers. So we're stuck in a society. We're limited by our economic system. 100%. It all comes back to like, if you can't make money at it or it's not productive, it's going to get poo-pooed on.
Right.
So
we're like in this gears, we're gear work. We're part of the system. It sucks. We're kind of trapped.
Right. It's like we're running on a wheel, but if we stop running the wheel, the oxygen stops being pumped in.
Right.
We have no choice but to keep running on the wheel.
No choice. Yeah.
Right. And it's like it's the run to fail system, and it's just like that's also making me nervous because as things speed up, we get to the end faster, and then collapse is inevitable.
Maybe just let it go. Let the chips fall where they may, right?
Well, that's what we say until like the banks fail. Then we're like, no, we need $700 billion for you guys to revamp the banks. but they failed. If I lose my house and can't pay my mortgage, I lose my house. You guys lost 1 million homes and you get refunded. What?
Yeah.
That's not Adam Smith's invisible hand and empires collapsing. That's crutching along something that shouldn't be there, like coal. We don't need it anymore. We have alternatives. We know it's bad for the environment. Period. Why are we still using it? We can change. We're not. Right. It comes back to money. I mean, that's why they stopped making electric cars in the 90s. Oil companies, or I think, or gas companies, or car companies, bought the aluminum mines in Australia and then shut them down. And electric cars required aluminum. And the #1 primary source was shut down. Whoop, whoop. Failed electric cars, gas rules.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Capitalism, I mean, vampiring itself. It's weird. It's just weird how it works that way. Like it's supposed to be run to fail, but it never really is. If you're big enough and you want to stay in power, you manipulate things so you stay in power.
Right.
Which is a void against the whole natural cycle of things. So, sorry, soapbox done. Sorry.
No. Yeah. Hey, look, I think we're almost 2 hours.
Okay.
So maybe this is a good time for now. It's always a pleasure.
Dude, for sure. I always enjoy talking with you.
And I know we were supposed to talk about Stargate this time. Maybe next time. No pressure, you know.
Right. I'll watch as much of that as I can in the time I have.
You said you weren't ready. I wasn't ready. I was like, this is too good of a topic to waste when we're not ready on it. You know, I felt like so, but I mean, you know, whatever. We could keep talking about it. So
nice.
Anyway, no pressure. So
it'll happen.
Hopefully we'll get. We really want to talk about it, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm kind of back into it now, like big time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
So, okay. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for joining us, and if you stuck around this long, mega thank you. And
for real.
Yeah, Wmpyr signing out, and so is Mr. Ryck.
Take care.
Okay. Later, guys.